So is there consensus, guys, about whether we should not hold the meeting or not hold it? Reunion, at least the date we chose. My wife doesn't want me to attend. I can just tell you that, but that's, of course, that's her preference. I'm leaning toward not also opting out.
I think we could maybe give it a little more time, 3 weeks, and then see if the diocese has any guidelines that they set up for having meetings, because there was a long period of time where they had nothing going on at the conference center downtown. So I don't know if that's would be an option or not.
We have our main meeting coming up in August the 30th or something, end of the month.
29 maybe.
29, whatever
30.
the
30th.
last Monday is. I don't have my calendar.
Yeah, that would be the 30th.
I guess we could table this discussion. Pete, any news on the? It sounded like the other caterer wasn't a good option. Good choice.
Well, the Distinctive Catering, I researched their website and then talked to the lady from there. And I think the biggest stumbling block is their need for a definite, firm final number. They say 10 to 12 days before the event. And if we're under 100 people for alcohol, there's a $200 surcharge. But I don't know how we could get them a final number by that time, because I think we're now only 45, did Bill say?
Yeah.
Everybody said from the last time we did this, a lot of people, it was the final week that they enrolled. So
where was it held last time? At a church? At a
yes, St. Peter and Paul Church.
Okay.
Which the more I think about it, boy, that would make it so much easier to do it in a church or one of the halls on the west side, where especially those that have their own bar there.
Right.
And it's just a cash bar. Whoever wants to buy a drink can buy one. You don't have to have numbers and all that kind of crap. So today the Grand Rapids Public Schools changed their policy on masks. A couple of weeks ago, they announced they would be optional for the school year. Well, today, because of the uptick in COVID, and now they're going to mandate masks for all the kids in Grand Rapids Public Schools. So it certainly looks like it's drifting towards a much more restrictive environment. And I would think by the end of September, we could be all under masks or maybe even cancellations of things. And I frankly don't want to attend with a mask. That, to me, that wouldn't be a very good reunion, to sit there and look at everybody's eyes. It's going to be hard enough to remember or recognize people without a mask, let alone it just makes it so much more impersonal. So I'm in favor of recommending that we just can it for this year,
or for the time being, put it off to have another discussion of a different date and a different location.
Yeah, we can always revive it.
October's not a bad travel month for me. Maybe even November, less likely to have much snow, or be cold but not snow.
Give us time to explore maybe some of these other locations.
I like your idea, Pete, on those other locations. I think that way we don't have to get rid of that one gorilla in the room with trying to get a caterer for the liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to retirement parties like at St. George's Hall, and it really was smooth, very smooth. It was so easy from what I observed. But again, I would like to meet within a month or so with some of you guys that want to get together just for a small group, meet for lunch somewhere at a location that's in the middle of us.
I'm good for that.
Good.
I might not be because I might be in Wisconsin again in the next 2 weeks. Albert Wamhoff and I were planning on, I was going to stay overnight at his house. So we'll have to talk about that if we do change this date.
With so many unknowns, it may just be, that date in September may just be an awful hard target now to hit with so many people figuring that they're not sure, and so I imagine we're going to see others saying, well, no, I don't think I can make it or whatever. And it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to organize something large if everybody's going to be dropping out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So what's the feeling? Should we hold off any decision tonight? And wait to our larger meeting on August the 30th? Or should we make a decision tonight to not have it on September 23rd? And look into other options for a later date? When things are more apparent about what's happening with the uptick in COVID. Any thoughts about just canceling tonight, or should we?
I'd say wait a couple of weeks yet.
Okay, okay.
And see with the other meeting, what kind of reaction there is. I
the
know there's
larger
a number
group,
of
okay.
people from out of state probably that I don't know, may be coming, but maybe a couple of weeks will give us a better idea of what the situation really is.
Okay, I'm okay with that, Tom. That's probably a good call. We don't have to cancel tonight, but we're not going to go ahead with the caterer. Is that correct, Pete? It doesn't look like that's a viable caterer option.
That's correct. And I looked at other catering websites too, and I didn't see anything really very feasible. One was like a keg, a kegger. And no, we don't want to do that.
No, I don't think so. Okay.
A lot of people may not even want alcohol, and I'd hate to see them have to pay extra, for some of the, some of us to be drinking. So.
Yeah, good point.
I frankly don't need alcohol on a Thursday afternoon, but.
I don't either, but I mean,
I might need it Thursday night.
About 5 o'clock, yeah.
After seeing everybody.
Yeah, that's it. Depends who shows up, whether we might need it or not.
So the mask would turn you off, Pete? That wearing a mask at this event for?
Yeah, I don't mind wearing a mask. Like I wear a mask now. I'm starting to wear it again, like
too.
going to the store.
Yeah, I am too.
To Meijer, but for a friendly gathering, where we want to, really be personal with each other and stuff, I don't think that would be pleasant at all. I frankly would not probably go. And I'm not going to spend, 40 hours working on a catering system. This catering system, it's just, they need a deposit beforehand, and they need exact counts, and
I think
I don't like it.
If Pete, if you know of a maybe a church that we could do that at with the cash bar, I think that would be a much better option than the cathedral.
Well, now in this whole group of people that are together, we have some priests, and they are pastors, and their parish may have a hall of some sort. And what comes to mind is St. Isidore with Monsignor Henkiewicz, and just a block away or so is St. Isidore Casino Club, maybe, is it? I think. And maybe that's a connection. I don't know.
Yeah.
But has anybody had any contact with Monsignor Henkiewicz lately?
I have not. Did he register to attend?
I don't know. I don't recall seeing his name, but that doesn't mean much.
But you're right. Yeah, that would certainly be a person to go to first, and To me,
Don't
it
know.
just, it doesn't seem a real, I don't know, there's a whole lot of interest in having this to begin with. People say, well, the numbers, don't worry about the numbers are gonna increase, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that people don't feel the need for it right now yet. I don't know. Our group, there's just very few from our class even signed up. And our class was the one that kind of wanted it more than anybody else, I
Yeah,
thought.
well, the,
Yeah,
And
You're
these
right.
guys that came in the 70s, I don't know these dudes. These kids that went to St. Christopher House and stuff like that. I wouldn't talk to them probably.
Hey, what, how can you be so rude, not talk to them?
I mean, I'd say, hi, how are you?
well, do you have a likely date, Pete, for a smaller gathering for lunch?
Now, when are you going to be back in Michigan or in Illinois?
Illinois, probably in mid-September,
Oh, mid-September. Okay. Well, we got, yeah.
right around the time where we were having our proposed date, September 20th, mid-5th, say the 12th through the 23rd, I would be available.
Now, Al lives in New Buffalo, which to me that's not too far away. That's about a 90-minute drive. And I don't know, from Battle Creek, it's probably about the same or
about the
less.
same. Yep,
And it's kind of a nice lakeshore community. There might be a
it
nice
is.
little
It's really nice.
restaurant there near the water.
I'm sure there would be.
It wouldn't be too far for you, Frank. You could probably
No, it's for me, it's about a 90-minute drive.
go up and back in one day,
Yeah, easily. Albert and I met in DeKalb when he was living in the Quad Cities. I can't remember what's Bettendorf or something around there. We met for a breakfast in DeKalb, Illinois, Northern Illinois.
Oh, okay.
And we wore masks when we first met, but when we sat down for breakfast, the server came with wearing a mask, but we took our masks off and we had a nice 2.5 hour get together, breakfast, and we shared pictures and photos and memories. And it was nice seeing a classmate again.
Yeah, and I'd be comfortable, 5, 6 guys, hopefully all vaccinated and,
Albert has a beautiful house. I'm not suggesting I'm not nominating his house as their meeting place. I mean, he just bought it. And so the realtor he told me the name of the realtor. So I went out of curiosity. I looked on the realty section of the internet, and it showed every room in the house. Very big house for
he's
2
lucky
people.
to have gotten one. I mean, the price of houses is shooting way up.
Well, it wasn't cheap. I hope he got a really good price for his house in Iowa. He probably did. All houses apparently are gone up in value.
So I would say at the August 30 meeting, we recommend canceling the September 23 and exploring other options and waiting for this latest COVID to pass.
I concur with that, actually.
Okay.
It turns out September 23rd may not be a good date for me also. My wife has a medical appointment the 22nd, so she's going to need me. She wants me to drive her. So I'm in favor of making the final decision on their next meeting, as Tom recommended.
Yeah, and Dave Sipka was he was pretty firm on canceling it too.
Yeah,
So
he was.
Yeah.
What happened to Bill? Did he just fall off the chart? Or?
he's not part of our committee, is he?
No, he's not. But technically, he sends all the emails out. He's our guru, our tech guy, I guess.
Well, maybe he'll check the recording of this meeting.
I'm in favor of ending the meeting in another 5 minutes, unless you guys have more topics to bring up. And our sole purpose was really planning for the September 23rd event, and it looks like it's, at least among the 4 of us, we're saying potentially hold it off.
I think that's a pretty good encapsulation of what we've been saying.
Yeah, I like the idea, Pete, of if we do have an alternate, doing it at a place maybe where it's a cash bar, and doesn't have to be, people could still go downtown to this, to look at the whatever the
Windows.
yeah, the windows and the whatever else is at that location. Some reporter, some magazines and newspapers are there. I really have no interest in that. I would look at the windows. I'd rather do a tour of the new location, what's the name of the organization that took it over?
Samaritas.
Veritas. Even if it's a small group of 2 or 3 people walking through whatever they would show us, that would have more, I would have more interest in that than going to see the windows downtown.
It's funny, my niece delivered communion from one of her at her parish, St. Thomas Parish, and the parishioner was at St. Joe's in Samaritas in one of the units, and so she went there and went to the unit.
You saw that unit then, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Roger Dunnigan, we talked about him. He died a couple weeks ago. He had a funeral last Saturday or the Saturday before in Leelanau County, which I think is the most vaccinated county in the state. And 20 people came down with COVID, just simply attending the church funeral.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And were they wearing masks probably? No,
I have
you
no,
don't
I
know?
have no idea.
Isn't Leland on near Traverse City?
Yeah, yeah. It's the finger. Yeah.
Yeah, that little.
Yep.
When you look at a mitten, it's the small finger, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we could call this meeting over. I mean, should I summarize it in an email and send it to Bill?
Sure.
Yeah, and ask Bill where the heck he was. He's supposed to be here for these.
But your point, Tom, is that we should hold off the cancellation officially until there's more discussion at the August 30th meeting.
That's my thought, yeah.
Okay, so that we're leaning toward, at least 3 of us are, but, and possibly having it in another venue or another date even, when we know more about what's happening with COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know it's not, it doesn't seem like to be fatal to people who are fully vaccinated, but still, you don't want to get seriously sick with 3 days of major flu or,
No,
and who knows all the implications, all the
Right.
things that could be going wrong with our systems if we get this Delta variant. Plus, we can then transmit it to somebody else, right? If we get the Delta variant, aren't we now?
Oh,
we could become carriers, yes.
Yes, that's the point. Thank you. Okay, well, I'm in favor. What time is it? It's not even 6:20 or just barely 6:20. All in favor of saying we'll meet again on August the 30th?
Aye.
I,
Okay, and the main topic will be a discussion about whether we go ahead with September 23rd or whether we cancel it or whether we pick an alternate venue and an alternate date, partly because of the problem we're having with catering issues and
Right.
the fact that COVID is resurging.
Right.
And
So-
if we set up a small party for just a few of us, I'm good for a 3-state area or 4-state,
Okay.
whenever, wherever.
Okay, well, I'll leave it up to you, Pete. If you can pick a date and I can try to arrive there for the day, for lunch.
Yeah, I need to clarify Bill's what do you mean 3 or 4 state?
Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin's too far.
Oh, I'm used to driving.
Aren't you in Battle Creek, Bill?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm in Battle Creek but my kids are in Chicago and so.
Yeah, I don't get to Michigan as often as I used to none of my siblings, well, it's not true. My oldest sister lives in Muskegon, but all of my 6 other siblings, they've moved out of state to live in Colorado. And so my wife and I haven't really traveled except to drive to Wisconsin for our summer home for 18 months now. We finally, my oldest son, who's 46, is finally getting married. They've picked the date, March of 2022. They had to postpone an earlier date that they had for getting married, he and his fiance. But they've been together 10 years.
Wow.
So it's good to see that
It's good to see that they don't rush into things.
they don't. And she's a member, she's basically a member of the family. She comes to all the family events. She's really a great person, so we're very happy for them. Okay, let's call it an end to this. I don't
Right.
think, all we're doing is talking, right?
Fair enough.
I'll summarize it and send it to Bill.
Very good.
See
Okay,
you
good.
guys.
Thanks.
See you
guys.
later in August, okay?
Yep.
Okay, let's go.